What is going on, folks? It's your guy, Tommy Gann, TG here for Ice Cold Sports, America's Sports Show. We're back here. Lots of things have happened. Lots of things have happened since the last time we talked, we chatted, you and I. Well, let's start off with uh, a simple announcement. The world is coming to an end if you're a fan of the Oklahoma Sooners or the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Two very shocking changes at the head coaching position at both landmark universities, two of the most historic programs in college football. First, Lincoln Riley saying, I'm heading out of Lincoln and going to USC, the University of Southern California. And it happened the day after they lost to Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy. And after the game, he was asked about the LSU coaching job, and he said that he was not going to be the next head coach of the LSU Tigers, and didn't expand on that, which he didn't lie. It's not like Aaron Rodgers lying. He lied, folks. He lied. He intentionally misled. He lied. Lincoln just kind of admitted extra information. Yeah, I'm not going to be the head coach of LSU, but and I don't buy for a second that he learned about it. You know, it came together really quickly. He probably was talking to him for a long time about it. It takes a while to get those kind of contracts that they put out there. They threw out the bag. I can understand it to an extent. Going to California, you get to set up your own thing, be part of a very successful program as well in past years. At USC, you're bringing along a lot of 5 stars. You are going to get so many benefits. I get it. I understand it. It has to suck being one of the players, though, and one of the fans. I know they're very angry. They're very upset. They're calling him a traitor. It's not a good time in Norman. Now, I will say Bob Stoops is stepping in for the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if he just came in full. He just, took over position for the next couple years. Wouldn't shock me at all because he kind of retired at a young age, it felt like. But he's taking over for now. And he's trying to keep the program together because all these recruits are leaving. These recruits are leaving like crazy, and and lots of players are transferring. Spencer Rattler's out of there. It's not good. It isn't good. When Stoops left, he had his tailor-made replacement in Riley, and it kept continuity. There was a gap in continuity there. Now you could say now they had Big Game Bob, but still, you lose them that quickly, and everything goes to shit. Not great. So, speaking of the LSU job, people were wondering who's going to get that. People were confused. People didn't know. The answer came, and it was Brian Kelly of Notre Dame, who currently has a shot at the national title. 6th in the country. They have a legitimate shot at winning a national championship. Now, it's not for sure. They need some things to go their way to make the playoff, but they can. If they make the playoff, you never know. And Brian Kelly leaving, and the way he left too. He calls a meeting at 7 a.m. and he's there for like 4 minutes, answers, and he gives like a mini little speech and then dips out. I think it's like $95 million. That I understand. It's $95 million. You're throwing a bag that heavy. Sometimes you're gonna go running, but it still does suck, especially leaving them now, like right away. That sucks. It'd be very funny if Notre Dame really did something special here to end the season. I think we all would agree. It's crazy. It's crazy. These are earth-shattering kind of moves in college football. Brian Kelly, though, he doesn't have. It's weird because Brian Kelly always seemed like the perfect fit at Notre Dame. I don't know why. His look, his name, his demeanor. He doesn't seem to be the same. He doesn't have that same energy that will make him congruent with LSU, or the SEC. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. He just doesn't. It's just a weird kind of thing. Compared to someone like a Les Miles or an Ogeron who kind of had that LSU vibe, Brian Kelly does not. Now, I understand why LSU went after him. I think it's a slam dunk that they got him, but it still doesn't, personality-wise, going to take some time to get used to. I think that's fair to say. And also, at my University of Florida, the Gators hired Billy Napier. I can't get into it too much. I really like that hire, though. Um, Moving on to some of the games this weekend, like we mentioned, Oklahoma lost to Oklahoma State, which was an incredible thing to watch. Oklahoma State has a chance to the playoff as well. Oklahoma State, you got to say, it's fun to watch Mike Gundy do the things he's done. It's fun to see someone come back to their alma mater and perform and make things happen for their alma mater. And they've done that so far. This was a huge win for them, massive win. It seems kind of far few in between that they beat uh, that they beat Oklahoma. And Mike Gundy was saying that this might be the last time Bedlam has played in Oklahoma State. I doubt that because I'm guessing either A, they're going to have another in-conference game at Oklahoma State again, or B, there's going to be a home-and-home series between the two, not just at Oklahoma. I would think that you'd probably get that as well. But it's still kind of a big moment for them. And then kind of in the same vein, Michigan, the University of Michigan, defeats Ohio State for the first time in a decade. A decade. It's been a while, folks. A while. Jim Harbaugh, he's been criticized for years. He can't do it. He's not the guy. He can't do it. The khakis ain't cutting it. He ain't cutting it with the khakis. But what does he do? This year, he shuts up the haters. He takes down the doubters, and he beats Ohio State. Gigantic win. It was an amazing game to watch, too. When you watched it with the weather, it was the overcast sky, the snow coming down. It was beautiful. It was real football weather going on there in Michigan. And a heck of a win. Ada Hutchinson getting 3 sacks, 7 tackles. And then you had, and then you flip around and, why am I blanking right now? Hassan Haskins having himself an amazing day. Incredible game to watch. Gundy, Harbaugh, both on that same kind of boat. It's exciting, it's thrilling, it's awesome. I love it. I love it for both schools. It'll be interesting. Let's dive into the games this week because I think this is conference championship week. This is conference championship week. We have some exciting matchups coming up. This will be coming out on Friday. Today it's number 10 Oregon against number 14 Utah. Obviously, last time these two teams played, Utah beat Oregon at Utah. This is going to be in Vegas. First time that they've had the Pac-12 championship game in Las Vegas. This is definitely one of those things where Utah dominated at home, but Oregon's now getting them at a neutral site. We'll see if they have the same kind of intensity, if it's the same sort of thing. We're going to find out. We're going to find out real soon. Utah is favored by 2.5 points, but that could be pushing you toward, I should say Oregon could be looking for revenge with Anthony Brown. We'll find out soon enough. Mario Cristobal was on a lot of radars as well, but he never ended up moving anywhere. Moving on to Saturday, we have the Big 12 Championship. Baylor, number 9 in the nation, versus number 5, Oklahoma State. Big day for Gundy and crew, but they're favored by 5.5. But Baylor cannot be underestimated. Dave Aranda is a heck of a coach, and that Baylor team is feisty. They're feisty. Last time they took on, they were in this game against Oklahoma. They came down to the wire. We'll see if this time around, without Big Daddy Oklahoma in town, if they can bring home the W. At the same time, Oklahoma State, but also this is a letdown spot because they just beat Oklahoma in a gigantic win, and now they're taking on Baylor. But still, at AT&T Stadium, pretty huge. App State at Louisiana, number 24 Louisiana. Billy Napier's last game at Louisiana. before he takes over the spot as the Gators head football coach. Two squads. I mean, Appalachian State's obviously been the class, one of the class of the Sun Belt over the last few years since they've gone FBS. And Louisiana, last few years, has been on a tear. I'll be interested to see the outcome of that game. Surprisingly, App State's favored by 3, which could be a sign of things to come. I don't know. Excited for that one, though. Houston, number 21 in the country, at number 4, Cincinnati. Cincinnati fighting for their chance to make the college football playoff. Most people believe if they win this game, they are in. They are in. It is a gigantic day for the little guy, the underdog, the Power Five, the Group of Five, in their everlasting battle against the Power Fives. I still like Cincinnati. I like the Cincinnati line this game, but Houston cannot be trifled with. I mean, Daniel Holgerson. I mean, he is a wily coach. He's done some nice things this year with Houston. I thought that tenure was going to go badly. Has not been so. The Northern Illinois University Huskies against the Kent State Golden Flashes. That will be in Detroit for the MAC championship game. I think everyone should be excited for that. At least I am. My Northern Illinois University Huskies, my father attended there. I have been a Husky fan since I was a little kid. I want to tell you folks is I'm a fraud. I'm a complete and total fraud. I never said I wasn't. I'm a fan of my alma mater, Colorado, a fan of the school I'm attending, get my master's from, Florida, and my father's alma mater, which I grew up rooting for, which is Northern Illinois. Complete and total fraud. Not running from that. But NIU, I'm excited for them. This year everyone tried to say, hey, they can't do it. They're not very good. Thomas Hammock, what was that hire? Instead, they have won a bunch of games. They won the MAC West, and they're going back to Detroit, folks. They're going back to Detroit, home sweet home, taking on Kent State. Kent State, 3.5-point favorites. Last time these two teams played, it was a shootout. It should be a shootout on Saturday. I can't wait. I'll be watching. I'm excited. I'm pumped for this game, folks. Pumped. Pumped. Very much pumped. Going on to the Southeastern Conference. Alabama, number 3 in the nation, takes on number 1 Georgia. Georgia obviously has been the class of college football this season. The class. People have been drooling all over their defense so far this year and have had a pretty good offense. They have seemingly blown away everyone they faced. They're taking on Alabama. And this is a weird game because Alabama has had a not amazing season. I mean, they only have 1 loss, but at the same time, they've had so many close calls against not very good teams. LSU, they almost lost to Auburn this last weekend. They've had close calls this season, and then they lost to Texas A&M, and they had that close call against Florida. They've had some very close calls this season against some not so very good teams, but they are still Alabama. They still have that kind of talent level. They can still come out there and punch you right in the mouth and then get it going. A lot of people are saying if Alabama loses this throughout the playoff, if they win, someone could be screwed. There could be a screwing going on to either Oklahoma State or Notre Dame. Either one could be getting screwed. We'll find out. Michigan, number 2 in the nation, takes on number 13, Iowa. The Hawkeyes. Michigan coming off that ginormous win against Ohio State. Iowa coming off a win against Nebraska, who might be the best 3-win team ever. I think that's been thrown around a lot by a lot of different people, a lot of different places. But it's, I mean, they've had, I mean, what was it? In Big Ten play, they have like 0 point differential because, like, they've lost every game. They only won 1 game in the Big Ten, but the one they won was by a bunch of points, and the rest have only been by less than 10. They've had close games against Ohio State, Michigan. They've had all these crazy close games. They looked like they were going to win on Saturday. I thought they were going to win on Saturday. Instead, they fell apart once again. I understand bringing back Scott Frost for next season because if he can get over that hump, maybe he has something there because they've had so many close games against so many very good teams. We'll find out. But moving on to this actual game, it's obviously once again is a letdown spot for Michigan. They're 11-point favorites in this game after that hugely emotional win. First time they've gone to the Big Ten championship game. Pretty massive moment. Iowa had. I mean, at one point Iowa was one of the top teams in the nation. At one point, everyone was saying Iowa, 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 and then they kind of fell apart a little bit. They lost to. They've lost to Purdue. They've gone on some tough times, but they are still a wily opponent. I mean, you can't argue with Kirk Ferentz's squad. Kirk Ferentz, the longest tenured coach in the Football Bowl subdivision. We exciting game to watch. Obviously, you have to favor Michigan, and honestly, even though they are Michigan, I'm still probably going to be rooting for Michigan because this is a cool moment. I think it's a really cool moment. Number 15, Pittsburgh against number 16, Wake Forest. Pittsburgh's 3-point favorites in this one. Kenny Pickett, can he win the Heisman? Probably not. He'll be probably one of the finalists. But it's been a magical season for Pittsburgh Panthers. I thought for a moment they had a chance at the playoff, and then they kind of blew that. Same goes for Wake Forest. These are two programs that I think have had some major bumps. Wake Forest has historically been kind of a laughingstock. In recent years, they've finally pumped it up to nice levels. Credit to them. And Pittsburgh, a historically successful program, who's gone themselves through tough times. Pat Narduzzi, hats off to him. You gotta lean Pittsburgh in this game just because of because you love their quarterback, you love Pickett. But Wake Forest, I mean, again, there's a lot of good matchups this weekend. This is another one. And then finally, in a weird turn of events, USC takes on Cal. These two teams, they had their game canceled earlier on in the year, so they were like, let's play our game. Let's play the game. I don't believe Lincoln Riley will be coaching this game, but it'll be weird to see him on the sidelines or on the stands or whatever as he's about ready to take over. It's very strange. It's very strange. It's a weird thing. In other news, before we find out, let's talk about this. Baseball has locked out its players. I probably should have opened with this, honestly, but we have a lot of things to get to, so this is the important thing. Michigan, Major League Baseball has locked out the players. They've locked them out. They couldn't come to a new collective bargaining agreement. There is a lockout now in Major League Baseball. Folks, fire Rob Manfred. I've said it so many times on this podcast. Fire Rob Manfred. That man, that baseball deserves so much better. So much better than that man. He has, as a baseball fan, it is tough to watch someone like that be in the commissioner's chair and see the incompetence time after time. You couldn't get something done. This better not bleed into the season, or I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. If I don't get my Cubs baseball, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. In other news, also, Max Scherzer to the Mets. That's pretty cool for Mets fans. Noah Syndergaard to the Angels. Kind of a swapping around thing there. Marcus Stroman to the Chicago Cubs. But we'll see if there's any other big, free agent signings coming at any time in the future. This is hurting everybody. And I see the clubs, shilling for the owners, and it's like, get out of here. I don't know who exactly is at fault more, but I still am going to blame Rob Manfred no matter what. Rob Manfred, I'm blaming you. And I think I have a good reason to blame you because you are supposed to be the man in charge. You're given a lot of authority, and this can't be happening. This cannot be happening, folks. Can't be happening. It sucks. All right. That's the podcast, folks. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at Ice Cold SPRTS. It's mostly sports. We don't have Ice Cold Sports. We have Ice Cold SPRTS. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Gan Tommy, GAHAN TOMMY, and then on Instagram at Tommy.Gan, GAHAN. Thank you all for tuning in. And this has been Ice Cold Sports. See you guys.